Hello, this is Pastor Tim, and this is week 45 of Word 52. We only have just a few more weeks left in the year 2019, but take advantage of that time to memorize a passage of Scripture every week. That's what we've been doing here at Glad Tidings, and I hope that it's been a blessing to you. Let's go to our verse this week. It's found in the book of Hebrews, chapter 4 and verse 15. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet without sin. Now, the book of Hebrews talks about a high priest. What is a high priest? High priest was one who would go before the Lord once a year in the holy place to bear the sins of the people at the holy place. But I want you to understand this high priest was limited in several ways, but I just want to share just a few with you. Number one, he can only go once a year. That meant that all of the sins that the people had committed had been piling up, and then he'd go before the Lord, and those sins were taken care of on the Day of Atonement, but just rolled forward. Secondly, this high priest was not perfect. He was just a man. He had issues just like everyone else, but yet it was his job to be clean before the Lord, ceremonially clean, so that when he went into the holy place, he could stand before God. This verse tells us that Jesus, our high priest, he understands our weaknesses, he understands our issues, but he never sinned, and therefore he doesn't need cleansing. Also, Jesus is not just a once a year or a once a week God. He's there 24/7. Hear our request to be there for us, to deliver us from sin, to cleanse our hearts. That's the high priest that we have. A wise counselor once told me that the secret to ministering to people is to listen to them and give them your undivided attention. I'm glad that our God was tempted in all points as we are, so He certainly understands our situation. Therefore, when we go to Him, He listens, He hears, He empathizes with us. He understands. And that means so much to us when we need someone to be our burden bearer. Having someone who truly understands, that's Jesus. So our verse for this week is found in the book of Hebrews chapter 4. And in verse 15 it says, For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet without sin. So that's our verse for week 45 of Word 52. I hope that you have a fantastic week. And remember, someone's listening. His name is Jesus. God bless you. We'll see you next week.